August 23rd. Disaster struck for the Mineclub team. The summer event, which had already been problematic for them in the past few months, now had an even bigger problem. Something that could potentially ruin Mineclub's economy for months to come had gone unnoticed within the server. But within the last weeks of the event, the mystery was discovered. And when it was, all hell broke loose within the community. This is the summer event disaster. But before we get into this video, I would like to ask you if you could scroll down and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel and it does mean a lot. Now let's recap from last episode's problems and dive deep into why the summer event failed. Oh yeah, by the way, I made a Discord, so you could join that if you wanted to. Link in description, all that. Okay, video time. The 1st of June. The summer event is announced and released. But there is a new way to get the event items. Instead of them randomly given out and unobtainable every few minutes, they are instead giving out new items called summer tokens, and around 20 to 50 of these were given out every 5 minutes. These tokens were made to be used in the AFK lounge, where you could use 10 of these to spin for a chance at getting any of the new summer unobtainables. In total, as said in the last video, there was 7,500 titles, 5,000 nets, and 2,500 butterflies. Meaning you had a 50% chance of getting a title, a 33% chance at a net, and a 16% chance of getting a butterfly. And of course this meant that there were 15,000 summer items in total. Now as June was ending, the summer event was scheduled to end, but on July 1st this appeared to not be the case. Players waited for an announcement of some sort, and after a while they did get one, but not the announcement they expected. Instead of it being about a new event for July or the end of the current summer event, it was instead about how the summer event would continue throughout the month of July due to not enough summer items ending up in circulation. This was the case because of the new token system, as they were not guaranteed to have all items given out. This was of course fine by itself, as it would surely only be a couple thousand items not spun. But surprisingly, in the announcement it claimed only 53% of items were claimed from the summer table, and a very important number being 30,000 summer tokens not used. This number is very relevant to the situation, as I'd like to go back and look at my other video for a minute or two. On average, 240 tokens were given out every hour, 5,760 in a day, and over 170,000 of them were given, as only 150,000 was needed. Now, 53% of items being spun meant around 80,000 tokens had been used. And with there being about 40,000 left, round up of course, that adds up to 120,000. This is 50,000 less tokens than the predicted amount given out the rank. So where 50,000 tokens vanished to is unknown to me. And as you can see, I did some maths to show that the summer tokens did have some unknown problems due to the amount of tokens left and how many there actually should be. This was unfortunately the only information revealed at the time, but later more is released and does reveal these problems, so let's move on with the timeline. July was pretty similar to June, having lots of tokens being given out, with them actually increasing the amount being given out. A few small updates like a new cosmetic drop and the new spawn, no new game mode like laser tag coming out in June, but it seemed to be running pretty smoothly with players enjoying it and still lots of summer items being given out. But again, unexpectedly, the event was extended due to the same reason as before. But instead of 30,000 tokens being unused, there was rumours of there being over 100,000 tokens left in inventories, which is an insane amount. Unfortunately, they did not state the total amount of summer items being given out like last time, so we had no real estimate on how many were left. But one thing for sure was these tokens were definitely about to be spent. Why? Because in the announcement on August 1st, the main message was introducing the free pop figures that could be obtained by spinning your summer tokens. This alone caused the player base to go crazy, as there was only 1,000 of each pop, and them being the first housing furniture, so players were desperate to get their hands on them, causing token prices to double and pops being worth about 1.5 million each. They were finally having summer items being earned and summer tokens being spent, as the pops were in very high demand and still having a low chance of getting them in the token spin. But of course, this meant that August was also similar to July, with again, new small updates like the new AFK lounge, an extra pop figure being released being Rasho, a couple new battle box maps, and finally, all summer items being won from the summer table. But the sole reason you clicked on this video is yet to come, and I will explain it now. As said in the intro, August 23rd was not the best date for Mineclub. What the sudden announcement really revealed on that day was the unknown problems that revealed all mysteries and confusion, like lost tokens and how there should have been more summer items in circulation much faster. But actually there was more summer items. Instead of there meant to being 15,000 summer items in total, the Mineclub team discovered a problem with their counting system, and due to this problem there was actually over 33,000 summer unobtainables. The problem discovered was that when players exited the GUI by pressing E or escape instead of collecting their summer items, this meant that player spins would not count towards the total tally, causing many uncounted spins and clearing up why there were so many missing tokens. This is because the tokens weren't actually missing, they had been spent but the summer items had not been added to the total tally, so it seemed like they vanished. Overall, this unfortunate small mistake in Mineclub's coding led to them having to remove 17,000 summer items distributed randomly from the players. This caused not only upset in the community, but also panic. While you would receive a refund for the items you lost, the summer items were guaranteed to shoot up in value due to many players trying to get them back and try and make some profit at the same time. But because so much money had been given out, all unobtainables had risen in value as well due to players having the money to buy them, causing overall a massive inflation in the market. But summer items were inflated so much that they were even more than spring items at some point. For example, summer tiles were just 15k at the end of July, but by the end of that night they were around the 150k mark, multiplying by 10 in value. And now to the present day, August 31st. Supposedly the last day of the summer event, but as shown before, it could also be not. If it continues, will I be mad? Not necessarily, as long as there is some content to replace the use of the tokens, possibly being towards furniture, with housing being the beta period and it's slowly coming out at the moment. But with supposedly lots of releases around the corner, I can only be grateful for what Mineclub has given us so far and thanking them for how hard the team works. While events sometimes seem scheduled a bit badly, the team is constantly working hard on new builds, models, coding for games, or anything else that's needed for the server. I'd suggest sticking around in Mineclub because I promise you won't regret it. Big features are still yet to be released, so be patient as new things will come. But moving back to the summer event. Many people considered it as a complete fail and mess. While they are not completely wrong, by no means was it a fail because of the amount of attraction the summer items and the pops brought to the server. With the server still being so new, there are of course bound to be mess ups and you just have to accept this, but Mineclub will improve and adapt over time. And that is the history of the summer event, leading from the beginning of June all the way to the end of August. Unless they continue the summer event, because that would be kind of awkward, so please don't, Mineclub.